Hey everyone, Maris here with codeathome again. I'll just continue what we left off last time with the Apple website clone that we're creating. So this is the Apple website right now, but not this one, homepage. Apple changed a little bit of the website just because they had an event last week, but that doesn't affect too much our code because the elements are basically the same, the structure is the same. So let's just continue with our series here. So I'm going to focus on the menu navigation today. So how to get that as close as possible as this one here. So let's jump right into that. So I have here CodeSandbox, my folder, Apple clone, double click that. I'm going to click the episode one so to see where we left off. So basically we have all the structure here, the grids, the names I'm probably going to change, but the structure is the same. Then I'm going to focus on navigation here. So instead of creating on top of this, I'm going to actually duplicate this. I'm going to click this button called fork. That's going to create another branch of this same design code. So I'm going to click that. That's going to create an episode 1 fork in my drafts. I'm going to basically rename it here. I'm going to say episode 2, and I'm going to move from draft, just clicking that name, move to Apple clone folder. There we go. Now I have Apple clone episode 2, and that's good because we can see the progression of the code as we go. All right, so to do something like the Apple website has today, what we're going to do is basically, first thing, let's change this structure here. So one thing that I want to do here in navigation is basically to create a container div. That's going to be container. There we go. And then inside of this container, I'll place a lot of anchor tags, href, links, basically links in HTML. So, and then I'm going to say logo for the first one because it's the Apple logo, and I'm going to start to duplicate these things here a lot. There we go. So just so we don't go back and forth here, these are the sections that I need to replicate. So I'm going to put text even in the ones that are icons right now, but then we can replace later on with the icons. So let's work on the structure right now. So the structure is going to be logo, and then I have right after Mac, iPad, iPad, then I have iPhone, then after iPhone I have watch, then I have TV, then music. In real life these things will come from database, but for us this is just fine. Support, search, and then I need one more here for shopping, shop. There we go, save that. They are all here inline, these options. I'm going to basically go all the way to the top here. I'm going to create something that I wanted to do here is basically to say that this structure is going to be basically now it's going to be like a flex layout. So I also wanted to basically create the navigation class. So if I go here, click container, container, then I'm going to do a width for this container. It's going to be 1024 pixels. I think that's a nice size. Although, let me put it smaller so I can actually see it because this space is too small. So I'm put like 400. I'm going to do margin 0 and auto. So what that does is basically align that the entire div in the center. So I'm going to put a background so I can actually see that red. So this is our container right now. So it's aligning automatically from left and right. And here I have 400 pixels and it's aligned in the center. If I increase this to 550, you can see that grows. And then you can see that they actually are aligned in the center of the page. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to put my 1024 pixels here back and keep that container working right now. So one of the things that we need to adjust here is the icon, the links. I don't want it to be that color. So in the dark UI here, dark UI, I'm going to say when I have dark UI and I have a link, I want the color to be actually exactly like this one here. Color to be white, right? And then basically all the links are white. But I don't want to have the underline. So to remove the underline, I use the text decoration. Yeah, say none. I don't want to have that. And I also want, actually not here, but there we go. That fixes for us the links for the dark UI. So one thing that it does specifically for the navigation is that when I have nav and nav has container with the inside of it. Container. I want to have the links to have this opacity a little bit, so I'm going to put opacity, actually sorry, here nav container and links. Then I'm going to have this opacity, so opacity 0.8, that's the 80%, there you go. And then, but I also want to have, actually I don't need to put container, I just put nav and links, and I say I also want to have nav and links, and I hover the links. I want opacity to be 1, so 100%. So if I hover here, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but actually it blinks from 80% to 100%. But I want that transition to be smooth, so I use transition from CSS, and I'm going to focus on opacity. I could say all, or I could say exactly the properties that I want to change. So I'm going to change opacity. I'm going to say that should change in 0.3 seconds, and I want to use in-out effect of fade in, fade out, in-out. And then now when I hover and I get out, I see a smoother transition here. So it's not so in your face right now. Alright, a few adjustments for this too. I'm going to use the same font family as Apple now, and not just sans serif. If you go here to body, I want to change this font family to what Apple does, and they use actually their own font, like San Francisco. And then there is a few fallbacks for Helvetica, and then Arial, and then finally sans serif default. So I'm going to also use the font smoothing from WebKit that I just found out that. WebKit font smoothing, and then you can make the font smoother. So when I say that, it's going to be not so boldy, it's going to be more thinner and more what is supposed to be in reality. So the effects is still there, so everything's still working. So now what we're going to do is basically to space these items out. So I'm going to say that I want to do, let me go here, navigation, items, and I'm going to say that for navigation, I think navigation is already flagged, so let me see here. No, it's not. But I can do that for the navigation container. So nav container is going to be display flex, min height is going to inherit from the container itself. I still need to do the align items center. There you go, the align again center. And I wanted the spacing between the items to be the same, so basically the same space, and use the whole 100% of the space, and the space between items to be the same. So to do that, I'm going to use this property. Let me see here, blah blah blah. The property is spacing between. Okay, so I can do this and then put justify content space between. So I save that, and then you can see that now spacing between the items is using 100%, and the spacing between items here is exactly the same. One thing that I also don't do is to actually add some padding here. So let me go back to my variables here and use my spacing. So I'm going to use this space large here to use the padding. And I want a padding here in the beginning and a pad in the end. So I'm going to use the container again, and I'm going to use this, a padding. Then what I'm going to do is like, it starts from the top, left, top, right, bottom, left. So I'm going to say, I wanted to top and bottom to be 0, but I wanted to left and right to use var, that one, space large. So if I save that, there you go. Now I have a space 24 pixels here, 24 pixels here, and everything start over in that space. There you go. If I space it out more, you can see better. If I contract, you can see that it's still 24 pixels there. Probably in mobile we want to reduce that 24 to 16, but for now it works fine for desktop. Alright, so let's keep going. So now let's change the logo, search and chop to their own icons, because that's what we need to do, right? Basically what I'm going to do here in the structure of the HTML, I'm going to change a little bit. So when I have logo, search and then shop, I'm going to create a class app dash, like a namespacing icon. So all of them is going to have that. So I'm going to just duplicate here for search and duplicate here for shop. I'm going to also include here app icon logo. So that's going to be the identifier, that logo icon for this item. And here is going to be search, and here is going to be shop. There we go. So now all of them have unique identifiers in the class as class goes. So if we go to the top here, and then I start to create these things after container here. So I just say app icon. So I'm going to say that the width of the icons should be 16 pixels. And I wanted the like I think like minimum height to be inherit of the container. And I wanted to let me keep that for now. And I'm going to basically say that I wanna, let me see here, blah blah blah, app icon 16 pixels. I want the background position. Oh, so because they're going to be background items, so I want a background repeat to be no repeat. So I don't want to repeat the background over and over again. So I will actually comment that so I can see what happens if that repeats. So first thing, let me go to the Apple here, right click, inspect, go to network, then refresh actually the browser, and then basically I'm going to go to the list of images. I'm filtering by image only. So the first one is actually the Apple logo. You cannot quite see, but it's the Apple logo. So if I double click, this is the URL for the SVG. So I'm going to go back to CodeSandbox, saying app icon, then it's going to be logo all together. So background image URL is going to be that one that I just copied. So I'm going to save, and you can see that now the Apple logo is right there. So if I go down here, I need to remove this logo text so it goes out of the way. So there you go, the Apple logo is right there. So what happened here is that basically for this guy, minimum height, if I remove these things here, disappear because I don't have a height. So that's why I included the height here. And there is already the width there. Then one thing that I want to do, let me see if that's, there you go. You see that if I contract here, things are colliding. So I want to basically apply a little bit of padding between the items here. So basically what I want to do is basically include padding 0 to top and bottom, and then 8 pixels for left and right. Then when I do that, you can see that duplicates here, and that's why I put the background on repeat here, and background position, where is position? There we go. I'll put center. So let's see, there we go. And then now I'm not repeating, and I have some space in between items now if I really collide them, so it looks much better. All right. The next step is to change the search in the shop. So let's go back here. Let's bring the inspector again, the network. So if I go down this list here, I'll arrive into the search. There we go. That's the search item. So I double click, get this URL. But you can see that here that this is a little bit different. So it's basically using a white version of it. You cannot see here because basically the browser is white, the background, but there is a white search here, and then there is a dark one. I think they reused this to do in another part of the website, and that's why they do this, what they call a sprite, the SVG sprite here. Basically reusing one single request to the server to come with multiple images on, so they can actually mask as a background positioning and then change depending on if you hover or depending on a class that's loading that image. Now imagine like our dark and light class that we have, so something similar to that. So here in the I'll also do that app icon search, and I'm going to do the same background image URL and put that URL, save it, and then you can see that it's there. Let me go back to the structure of the HTML, remove that search label. Let me remove shop as well. So save that. But now the problem here is that I defined 60 pixels and the alignment is a little bit weird here. So I need to actually now change the size of this icon. So back to the app icon search. I need to basically say background size, and then it's going to be 16 pixels. And then let me save that. And then I also need to say that the size is going to be 88 pixels on the top. I think not 88 pixels, it's going to be 44 pixels. There you go for the height. So this is the width, this is the height. So what I'm going to need to do here is, let's say background position. I put center there. I probably need to change that to be 0. Yeah, it's 4 pixels and 0. Then this one here, it'll be double of the height. There you go. That's the double of the height, that's 44. So now I'm positioning the 16 width, but the height is actually 44. And then I'm also saying, actually, let me see if this works. So I put this to center. No, need to be actually positioned correctly. So it's going to be 4 pixels. And then, actually, I can do center. There we go. So it's going to be center here for the position. So center from left to right is going to be in the center. And from the top is going to be 0. There you go. That fixes our problem there. And that will also work for the Apple logo as well. So, and I do that because I have this sprite. So the rest of this image is underneath here, hidden right now, because I'm duplicating the height of it. I don't think I can do a calculation here, calc, and do inherit times 2. I have never tried this actually. Let's see if that works. No, that doesn't work. I'm being like too fancy here. So let me remove this and just go. I know that's 44, just duplicate the height. There we go. Then now I have that image. Start from the top. I have the image here. I don't think it's right where I want to be, but let me see. I'm saving this and opening the browser. So let me compare with the original. Let me remove this. Compare with the original here. It's not quite the same height here, so I think I need to change some things. Let me go back here. Let me adjust the height to make this a little bit bigger. There you go, 18 pixels instead of 16. I think it works better. Let me, yeah, there you go. That works better. So I'll keep these originals when I don't have this kind of weird size or sprite. I use the 16, but when I have the sprite, I basically use this 18 pixels on. I might want to create like a variable to hold these values. So every time I know when it's a sprite, then I change to this value here. The problem is that this is very specific to the navigation bar. So it'd be good to actually find a way to scale this and not be so specific to the navigation. But anyway, like it's working now. That seems to be quite bright here. The size of the bar for Apple seems to be smaller than my size. Let me see here what I put in my container. I put 1024. Let me try like 960. Let's see what that look like. Yeah, I think they're a little bit bigger too. So I think 980, maybe perhaps. I can actually inspect and see the right size, but okay, 980 seems to be working fine. Okay. Let me add the last icon, then we can actually see these things and see what we can do to improve that. Alright, so now let's go to the icon for the bag here, the shopping cart. So network, continue to inspect these things. Let's see if I find, there we go, this is the icon here. I'll double click, I'll click that thing, go back here, do app, icon.shop, and then I'm going to build background, image, URL, and put that in, save it, and voila, it's there. There you go. Let me go back here to our example. I will load again. And I think Apple uses a little bit of different spacing than ours, but it's fine. It's kind of working pretty well. I could match it, but I don't think we need to. All right, so now we have our navigation bar. So what's missing here? What's missing is basically Apple has this little effect here that's very nice actually, of mirror here. Everything is like, if I'm looking into the mirror glass, that on the shower. And then we could add that too, like I think is a nice effect to have. So let's look for that property. And that property is basically this one here. Let me see if I found correctly. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to say that navigation dot, so let me go back here. Okay, so this background color is coming from navigation.dark. So if I go to navigation.dark, let me see where I put that. There you go. That's the background that I have right now, right? So I'm going to comment this. If I take it down, it's going to be just dark. But then I need to say that I wanted this background to be basically, let me see here, blah, 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 blah. I want to keep that background. I wanted to basically say that I wanted that this background to be 0.8 maybe, so I can actually really see the color. And I think that match what Apple has as a color goes. Yes, it's exactly actually the same, 0%. So, and then what I wanted to add here is basically I wanted to add this property called backdrop filter. And backdrop filter is basically the filter is going to be applied to any element that's behind the div and not to the elements within the div. So if I found elements within the div, I would basically say filter and then apply some property here. But what I'm doing is like backdrop filter, and then everything that's behind is going to be affected by this. And what I want to do here is I want to blur the items behind, make it blurry. And then I'm going to say that it's going to be blurred by 10 pixels. So let me try here. Oh, there we go. So when you scroll down here, you can see that we have that nice mirror effect that the Apple website does as well. So it's pretty simple, but it's pretty neat. Like, it was a nice feature to add here. Very nice. You can see even the text here, when I go over, like, completely blurs. It's pretty nice. Like, let me see if it's blurring correctly. It's the same blurring. I think it is the same blurring. Like, I could check, but I think you are pretty close there. All right, so this is basically the navigation for the Apple website. Like, in the next video, we're going to continue to improve. Like, we're going to create these other bars here, the announcement bars, and then start to do our banners here, our hero sections. Actually, why we don't do the banners right now? Because they are so similar to this guy here. So let's try to do those. Basically, let's work in the announcement part too. So, all right. So if I go here to going down, I have the announcement here. I say align item center, just to center align them there. I need to do the same work that I did for the navigation bar. So for anything inside of it, I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to say div.container. Then I say COVID-19, unfortunately. Then let me try to do this. Yes, they are aligned in the center now. But for announcements specifically, they actually are text aligned center too. So let me go here and then text align them. So I have an announcement, dark, nav gap. So I'm going to do announcement. Where's the announcement thing? Announcement, dark. Then I'm going to do announcement, and I'm going to say text align center. There you go. So now the text is in the center. And then I don't know why this one. Oh, because I did not apply the container method maybe. So let me apply the container method for the next one too, the shop online. So div container shop online, save, and there we go. Both of them are aligned in the center. So let me copy the entire value here for that, and the entire value here for this guy. Announcement COVID-19. There we go. And that's it. Like, what I'm going to do next is basically to create a link, a href, then put this guy on inside of it. There we go. Save it. Then now if I hover, there we go. The one thing is that missing is that I don't have the underline now, because basically I removed that for the dark. So basically it seems that the links in Apple actually use the underline. So what we're going to do as difference here is basically go to the dark UI again, remove this test decoration none, So basically, oops, not that one actually. Basically, I'm going to say add a new one, dark a hover. I'm going to say text decoration underline. So say when I hover, I want to actually see the underline. But for navigation, I don't want to. What's specific to navigation? So I'm going to again to the a over here, text decoration, and this is just for the navigation. I say none. When I save it, wait. Nav a over hover. Maybe I need to say dark. Yeah, there we go. That works. So I actually changed this to a hover on the navigation dark. So it's being very specific here. Then overwriting the values. Okay, that works. Okay, if I go down here and go to shop online is a link, and I put nothing and then close right here. So shop online is a link. So let me see another thing here is that one thing is that the shop online is coming with underline because I basically don't have a property for links itself themselves. But I probably assume that you're going to use this primary color here for links. But I could be wrong. So let me inspect this element here and see which color they're using. They're actually using our RGBA color. Actually no, this is the color that they use for it, and it's completely different. So I'm going to create another color here, link, color links, link, color link, and then put the color down and save, and there we go. And then here I'm going to basically say when I have a link, color is going to be a var color link as default. There we go. And text decoration is going to be none. There you go. But I wanted the a hover for everything to have a text decoration underline. And if I hover, there you go. If I hover this guy, nothing. If I hover this, there you go. It's right there. So I actually did this in the dark UI. I don't think I need to do that anymore. So if you go down here, hey, hover, underline, I can actually remove this just because I already have that as the default. I can even remove this one as well. Yes, there we go, that works. And then that makes the code cleaner. So basically I'm using the hierarchy of the CSS hierarchy here to actually be smarter and then understand that basically the anchor by default don't have underline, but if I hover it has. And then navigation, I just overwrite that and say just for navigation I don't want to have that underline. And there we go, that's the two bars that we have in the website. One thing missed is the caret there thing, but that's going to be a little bit extra just because I need to actually identify the icon and then do a after thing and then place that thing there. It's going to be a little bit more work, so I can continue next time. But yeah, like it's pretty similar right now. Like the font, it feels that's still some adjustment for the font. I think Apple is using some letter spacing from the font that I don't have it. So my font feels a little bit spaced out from what they do have here. Oh, it's lunchtime, so I have to go. So yeah, guys, so this is how we do the Apple navigation bar. I hope you guys enjoyed, and then continue next time. See you guys next time. Bye.